Hi friends, it's Amy. Welcome to my bookish life. Today I want to check in with the books that I read from January 20th to January 26th. So let's get to it. At my last check-in, I had finished 9 books for the month, and today I have now finished 2 more books, and I'm in the middle of 3. So with those 3 books, I'm really hoping that I'm going to finish them by the end of the month. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's the goal. First book that I finished this week was The Sugar Queen by Sarah Addison Allen. This is my Buddy Read with Destiny from Desi Reads, and this book, I gave it 4 stars. Okay, it was pretty delightful. I loved it. Sarah Addison Allen writes magical realism so well, and I think that this book, more than any other book that I've read of hers, really ventured more into fantasy than just plain magical realism. It was really just, it reminded me of Love Actually, where you meet a bunch of characters, not as many characters as in Love Actually, but you meet a bunch of characters and you don't really know exactly how they're connected until you keep reading, and then all of a sudden at the end it's like, whoa, I get it, and it was so good. Each of the main characters has kind of a special power that once it manifests, it just follows them for their whole life. And Chloe, whenever she needs something or some information in her life, a book will just appear to her. And it's like the book that she needs in her life at that moment. And it's delightful. I love it. Oh, so a power I wish that I had. They just follow her until she stops ignoring them. Then the second book that I finished was The Best Motivational Speeches of All Times by various authors. This was an Audible original that just compiled a bunch of really great speeches all together, and I enjoyed it. When I updated last week, I had already listened to my favorite, which was Rick Rigsby. Also, I was very impressed with Admiral William H. McRaven's speech. He is one of his most widely known motivational speeches or motivational quotes has to do with making your bed every day, because if you accomplish nothing else the rest of the day, at least you accomplished that. And I really that is brought up in his speech. I just really loved listening to him talk and giving advice. The speeches that I heard this week were from J.K. Rowling, Matthew McConaughey, Steve Jobs, Admiral William H. McRaven, and Tony Robbins. Matthew McConaughey's speech was good, but it was the sound was terrible. The sound was terrible. It might have been terrible that day, whatever, but it was bad. There were parts that just completely left. Okay, so I was not at all impressed with that. Steve Jobs and J.K. Rowling and Tony Rowling, their speeches were good. They were good. Tony Robbins, I thought, came off as, I didn't like him. I don't know anything about Tony Robbins, but I do feel like he's very opinionated, and he will definitely call you stupid if you disagree with him. That is the impression that I have of Tony Robbins. And I did not like his speech because I couldn't get past how uppity he seemed. I couldn't get past it. So, and that was the last one. So it ended on this really low note for me. Also, what I don't like about this book is that it's called The Best Motivational Speeches of All Times. I think that's so weird. Why would it be times? That's not necessary. Take the S off. Take it off. Why is it there? Doesn't make sense. All in all, it was really good. I would suggest, honestly, looking up Rick Rigsby speeches and Admiral William H. McRaven speeches, Matthew McConaughey speeches, Denzel Washington speeches, Jim Carrey. I'd recommend that one too. But look up these speeches. They're probably on YouTube. You can probably listen to them, and you're gonna get the same kind of effect. I did like that I could listen to these in my car very easily. They were downloaded on my phone. I'm not mad that I listened to them in this book form, but it's not necessarily one that I would recommend you run out and buy, if that makes sense. I didn't actually rate it. Actually, now that I look at it, I didn't actually read it. So, who knows? All right, so those are the books that I finished. In terms of what I'm currently reading, I am still currently reading The Librarian of Auschwitz, the original novel of The Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio Iturbe. I can't say that I'm enjoying it, but I am so intrigued by everything that I'm learning in this book and the resilience that I'm seeing and the bravery and just the growth of character that I'm seeing in immense adversity and hardship. And it is really a fascinating book. The fact that it's based on a true person is amazing. And you can actually tell that I complain about A Girl Called Samson because the author took so many liberties with the life of the actual real life person that it basically wasn't really based on a real life person. It was just inspired by their story. But you can tell how much this is actually true to life, that she's not really playing with the facts at all. In fact, it almost sounds like a nonfiction narrative as you read it. And I'm just in it, which, as I said last week, I don't know if you saw my rant about graphic novel versions of full-length novels, but there is so much more in this than what you find in the graphic novel. Now, the graphic novel, still great, but I really am glad that I'm reading the original source novel because it just feels so much more authentic to me. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Then the next furthest that I am is in Marshmallow S'more Murder by Leslie Langtry. This is the third book in the Mary Wrath series, and you're probably thinking, hey, Amy, you're on like book 27 of that. And I totally am, but I missed books 3 through 7. So I have to go back and read them because it's been bothering me for a while that I've missed those books, and I want to read the full series. So this is book 3. It's a little weird visiting these characters when they are so much further and so much more developed in the later books, but I'm really enjoying the story. It's a lot of fun, and I just still love this series. So it's great. The last book that I'm in the middle of is There's No Coming Back From This by Anne Garvin. And this is a buddy read that I'm reading with Jane, who is one of my subscribers and wonderful supporters. She messaged me when I was talking about not having a book for the Buzzword reading challenge, and she said she randomly found this book in her Kindle. So I looked it up on Amazon and I was like, oh, look at that. I actually own this book. Poppy is the main character. Her daughter is about to start college in the fall. She's spending the summer in New York as a nanny. During Robin's high school years, Poppy hired an accountant to take care of the expenses for her business so that she would be more available to be involved in her daughter's life. Now, I said the word accountant, so you can probably figure out where this story is going because it is such a familiar trope in movies and books and TV shows, right? Okay, the accountant took off with all of Poppy's money and she is now completely broke. And there's nothing that can be done about this, which I don't understand how there can be nothing to be done with this. It floors me. Okay? It floors me. And I really want to know how often this actually happens in real life. And if it does happen this often in real life, why aren't we doing anything about it? That's what I want to know. That's all I want to know. So, anyway, so far it's pretty humorous. I'm really liking it, enjoying it. Pretty excited to keep checking in with Jane and seeing how she is doing with it. So, we are only 11% in, so we'll see where we go from there. So, that's all I have for you for today. I would love to hear what you think about any of the books that I have talked about down in the comments. I love chatting with you down there. Commenting, liking, subscribing really helps my channel grow, and I so appreciate it. I hope you're finding something wonderful to read. And until next time, happy reading. Bye.